afternoon, Facebook. I am Danielle Love, founder of the Sacred Sexual Energy Body of Work, coming to you live today to talk about some more conscious and intentional perspective and belief shifts that we all have the capacity to choose to make if we desire to open up the energetic pathways to call in more pleasure, more joy, more love, more compassion into our lives. I did a live the other day about loving your body and how that is a perspective shift on how to begin viewing your body from the perspective of being a holy divine gift from the source of all that is. And today I'm here to talk about a language shift. And it actually includes a word that many people have never heard of. I've made many posts in the past about this word. Maybe back in July, I posted about it and I asked people to look it up, and many people looked it up and got back to me and said they were so excited about learning this word. And this word's been a big, huge part of my life for many years, and actually been a big part of all of my clients' lives as well, because it's something that I teach as a foundational mindset, spiritual embodiment shift on how we interact with ourselves and how we interact with the world. And that word is compersion. And funny enough, the word compersion actually originates in the ethical non-monogamy community. It was, I believe, originally created to teach the embodiment of the joy that a partner feels for seeing their other partner receive pleasure, regardless of where that pleasure was originating from. And the other kind of way in which it has expanded over the years and has come to be known is actually the opposite of jealousy. So for me, compersion works in so many ways. And the main things that I choose in my own life to replace compersion with, or put compersion in place of, are competition and comparison. Because competition and comparison, hi Ron, thank you so much for the sound check. You are an amazing human being and I appreciate you. So competition and comparison, they reside, for me and my interpretation. I am a huge etymology nerd. I love language. I love understanding how words originated, what they mean, how we use our words, and actually how the words that we use actually create all of the emotions we feel, the meanings that we assign to certain things in this world, and all of that stuff. So competition and comparison reside in the energy of lack. So when you're competing for something, usually it's because you feel like you have to get that thing in order to prove your worth, and so somebody else is below you. And the same thing for comparison, right? And I'm not blanketing all of this. I'm not saying that competition and comparison have no place in the world. However, I am saying for the majority of the ways in which we human beings tend to use comparison and competition today, usually they're rooted in a sense of lack. And usually it's in order to other someone else, or to separate ourselves from other people in order to either make ourselves feel superior, which I'm not a fan of, or to make somebody else seem that they're, or in our own minds, we'll convince ourselves that somebody else is somehow superior to us. Right, when we're comparing ourselves, well, this person's doing this and this person's doing this and here I am over here, all this blah 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 stuff that is, unfortunately, it's usually a track that runs over and over again, and it's a track that is rooted in an energy of lack. Whereas in opposition, compersion is a celebration of other people's joy. It is when you genuinely are willing and able to feel genuine, overwhelming joy when somebody else achieves something or does something that they're proud of, that they're happy about, that's bringing them pleasure, that's bringing them joy. You feel a deep sense of joy because of their joy. That is rooted in a sense of abundance. Compersion is rooted in abundance, and comparison and competition are rooted in lack. And that is why when we begin replacing that. And when I say replacing it, I mean noticing with curiosity, not judgment of yourself, not criticism of yourself, but curiosity, right? You make a conscious and intentional decision to say, hey, I'm going to notice times in my life where I notice that myself competing with someone else, or I notice myself comparing myself to someone else. And I'm going to see how I can shift that either competition or comparison to a state where I feel joy for the other person that I'm currently comparing or competing with. What can I do to feel joy for them? Because when you feel joy for someone else, it increases your ability to feel more joy. When you celebrate somebody else, it increases your ability, your energetic vibrational ability to have more celebratory things in your own life, right? It is an amazing thing that grows together, right? So when you do it for someone else, it's like being in service. What I always talk about volunteer work. I call volunteer work one of the most meaningful acts of self-love. I know it doesn't seem that way, but when you are in volunteer in service of another organization or human or situation where you're not expecting anything in return, you're simply showing up because you care, because it means something to your heart, to your soul to serve in that way. That's what compersion feels like to me. And that is what I invite you to try on. I call trying on new words and different things like kind of like when you go to a store and you try on a piece of clothing, and like maybe you're at Target and you're like, oh, I'm going to try this on, and maybe you take it home, wear it for a week, take the tags off. It's Target. It's 2021. Everybody has to compete with Amazon's return policies. Like, try compersion on for a week. See for yourself, because that's the other thing that I'm a big proponent of. I'm sure I'll come on and do another live about this. Don't take anything I say at face value. Don't take anything anyone says at face value. Question whatever needs to be questioned in your life. You are your own best coach. You are your own best healer. You are your own best leader. So take what I say if it touches some part of you and you say, wow, it actually probably would feel really good to feel good more often for myself and for other people. Try it on. And if you don't like it, return it, get your money back, right? But I'm fairly positive that if you try compersion on for a week and you replace it, or you replace competition and comparison with it, you're going to have a massive shift in your energy all around. You're going to be able to receive more pleasure. You're going to be able to receive more joy. You're going to be able to receive more love, everything in that abundant energy. You're going to have the capacity to receive more of, and you're going to repel negativity more. You're going to repel lack more. Okay. And so a story about this for me and how this manifested in my life, not in an ethical non-monogamy sense, but in an actual business sense. When I became a diabetes coach back in 2009/10, when I started doing the research about what was out there for diabetes coaches, right? I Googled diabetes coach and there was nothing. There was literally nothing out there. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to create this, I guess, position. I'm going to create this thing because I know that it's what I'm called to do at this time in my life. And then over the years, I created a very successful diabetes coaching practice, which still exists today, right? Most of the people out here know me from Diabetes Dominator Coaching, the Diabetes Empowerment Summit, my books, and all of that stuff. As I began to continue in my career, I started noticing other diabetes coaches popping up. I'd go to conferences, I'd go on online forums or Facebook groups or what have you in the community, and I'd see, oh, that person's a diabetes coach. That person's a diabetes coach now. Back then I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I thought I was the only diabetes coach. I can't possibly share my ideas with them or let them see what I'm working on or collaborate with them because, well, that's going to steal my client base or take away something from me, right? That mindset of lack, which back in 2009 and 10, I had been doing a lot of personal work, but hadn't gotten to the point yet where I truly understood and was able to fully embrace the fact that lack only exists in the minds of humans. It's actually not a thing that exists in nature. And that when one person gets a client, it does not mean that I lose a client. In fact, there are enough clients for every person who wants to express whatever divine gift they were given in order to facilitate expansion for other humans, whatever category that falls into. There's no amount of other coaches or mentors or leaders in your niche, I don't know, I can never say that word right, that is going to take away anything from your ability to earn, to serve, to fulfill your destiny in that way if somebody else wins. And so now, where I am now, some of my closest friends are diabetes coaches. Dr. Jody, who, if anybody's watching this and knows, we've done so much together over the years. She's probably what I would call my biggest competition in the diabetes coaching space if I wasn't in the mindset of compersion at this point. But she has spoken on all of my events, on my diabetes empowerment summits, and I have spoken to her group coaching, to her at her actual live event I spoke. We have had clients that both of us have had. Some have gone with her, some have gone with me, some have gone back and forth. And that's just one example. So now I never see somebody doing the same thing or a similar thing to me and think, oh my gosh, I have to hoard my ideas or the things I'm doing from this person. In fact, I see compersion leads to collaboration, and collaboration leads to us being able to reach more people, because even though I am a highly qualified 10,000 plus hours coach, there's definitely not everything that I know for every person. There's going to be people who are going to energetically vibe with what I have to say, and there's going to be people who are going to energetically vibe with other coaches. And I don't in any way believe that I have the ability to serve every human being in the world, right? That's just not something that I am willing to take on, because that's not a real thing. But I believe that there are enough human beings out there that want to serve, that can serve everybody that needs to be served. And when we collaborate, we come together, we express compersion and joy and gratitude for seeing other people win, we also win at the same time. So my challenge to you, or I guess it's a challenge, I don't, either way, is to notice in your own life where you often, or maybe it's a lot, maybe you do this a lot, you compare yourself to other people, whether in any aspect of life, whether it's your body, your career, your family life, your relationships, whatever it is, you're always looking at someone else and you're saying, oh, that person has this, that person has this. Or if you often feel like you're competing with other people in your career or in your family, or whatever the dynamic is, are you willing to find a way where you can celebrate that other person's win, or that other person's stance, or that other person's, or in fact, if you can't do that, just let it be, right? Maybe don't even involve yourself at all. Maybe you don't even need to get to the level of compersion, which I recommend highly because it feels amazing, and I like to create the energy of feeling pleasure and feeling joy and feeling good in my own life. However, if that's too far, just say, hey, I don't agree with this person, but I don't need to compete with them. I don't agree with this person, and I don't need to compare myself to them, because I am me. They will never be me, and I will never be them, and that's the way it's meant to be, and that's okay, right? Because that just feels better. And for me, at the foundation of every single thing in the world, everything that's created, everything that's sacred, is dependent upon you being you. And I mean being yourself fully, authentically, unapologetically, embracing the gifts, the weirdness that you were gifted with, and allowing other people to do the same thing without feeling any type of lack because they're expressing themselves truly. That's really the name of the game for me. So I hope you will try on replacing competition and comparison with compersion in your own life. I'd actually love to hear what you think about that. If you've tried it, even if you're not going to try it, if you think it's crazy, I want to hear all your feedback. So please feel free to comment, whether you're watching this now or whether you're watching this at some point in the future. And I look forward to seeing you live here tomorrow, because today's Thursday, right? Thursday, yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. My intention is continuing to be coming on here live once a day, each weekday for the next month or so. So looking forward to seeing you all on the next live and hearing what you think about replacing competition and comparison with compersion in your own life. I hope you have a beautiful day.